Trilogy Outdoors is calling me. From the rivers to the pines to the endless sea. Goldfinch and
Recreational red snapper management in federal waters off our coast. Alongside our partner wildlife agencies in Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina, South Carolina submitted a proposal that outlines a responsible, science-based pilot project to strengthen data collection, enhance angler opportunity, and support long-term conservation of this important reef species. For years, South Carolina recreational anglers have expressed serious concerns about the extremely short mini-seasons and the unreliable federal data used to manage them. As our application notes, Marine Recreational Information Program catch estimates for red snapper regularly carry percent standard errors exceeding 50%, making them unreliable and not suitable for use and management. Meanwhile, decision makers continue to rely heavily on estimated dead discards, which now account for more than 475,000 of the 509,000 fish annual catch limit, leaving less than 7% available for harvest. South Carolina, along with other states, believe we can do better. We know we can. Our proposal implements a state-run electronic data collection system to identify anglers participating in the fishery, monitor effort in the near real time, and dramatically improve the accuracy of catch and discard reporting. Our local scientists offer the very thorough and timely science. We have an incredible team led by Deputy Director of Marine Resources, Blake Kepler. Blake, thank you and your team for being here and all that you've done. They know our fisheries and will oversee this historic proposal in our program. We are proud to announce that under this pilot project, anglers would be allowed to harvest one red snapper per person during a proposed 61 or 62-day season aligned with the summer MRAP waves. 61 or 62 days. This expanded season would reduce Derby-style pressure, improve safety, and allow for meaningful comparison with MRAP data. This proposal is grounded firmly in science. The Southeast Data Assessment Reviewed Update indicates that while overfishing had previously been occurring, the stock is now no longer experiencing overfishing and shows higher than expected recruitment from 2014 to 2021. But our commitment is broader than data alone. So we stand here on this beautiful day. Our commitment is about stewardship, about protecting our waters, our lands, and we're one of the few states in the country that have a constitutional mandate to that. Our oceans and waterways provide an important life support system, and SCDNR, along with our partners and stakeholders, provide meaningful, thorough, and timely care for them. In fact, in many ways, South Carolina is a global leader in environment and marine protection. We don't say enough good things about ourselves. Our scientists, our anglers, our families across our beautiful state well understand the value of protecting not only our oceans and waterways, but also our land. This EFP supports that responsibility. By extending the season and improving reporting, we reduce discard mortality, align fishing access with sound science, and create a management path that protects the resource while restoring opportunities for our South Carolina anglers. We also recognize the importance of modernizing fisheries management across the South Atlantic. To be sure, managing fisheries sustainably requires accurate, timely information. Without it, we are unable to provide meaningful solutions. Our state's marine scientists can provide this thorough and meaningful, timely, and reliable data. And this is precisely why South Carolina, alongside our neighboring states, is stepping forward to test new, more accurate data tools under the EFP framework. We are grateful for our federal partners and respectfully ask the Department of Commerce and NOAA Fisheries to approve this EFP promptly so that SCDNR can begin outreach, training, and technical preparation for the 2026 fishing season. In closing, I want to thank our anglers, our partner states, and our conservation community. with better data, better science, and the shared commitment expressed by our Marine leaders, South Carolina can protect the red snapper resource while restoring the fishing opportunities our citizens deserve. This time I'd like to introduce my dear friend, passionate, brilliant Marine advocate, great statesman, Senator Stephen Goldfinch, to speak on this important topic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You.
Thank you, Director Mullikin. Director Mullikin, you are one of the biggest advocates we've got in the marine resources, really in the entire wildlife division, the marine resources division, everything that we have worked for in Senate Fish and Wildlife, you've been an advocate for, and I appreciate your leadership very much with DNR. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic day. I can remember, I think it was 15 or 16 plus years ago when we got into this quandary with the federal government. And I can remember thinking, how does the federal government even know how many fish we have? Y'all know as well as I know, they didn't know. And I'll tell you the truth hurts. They still don't know to this day. This entire time, we have been living under an oppressive regulatory regime that was based on a scam. Their data is wrong, and it has always been wrong. And we, as anglers, I can speak as a senator from the state of South Carolina and living here in Murrells Inlet, but also as a user of the resource, we have known this forever. I used to be a commercial spear fisherman. I am a recreational spear fisherman now, and I can tell you from seeing with my own eyes that there are millions of red snapper swarming our reefs to the detriment of other fish, to the detriment of krill, to the detriment of every marine life that's living out there. When the system is unbalanced, it just does not work. I remember a few years ago when I started seeing black sea bass dwindle in population. There were years and years ago, some of you older guys may remember, this time of year through February or March, you'd see schools and schools of black sea bass anywhere from 40 feet deep all the way out to 80 feet deep. Those schools and schools of black sea bass don't exist in the same numbers that they used to. The gag grouper don't exist in the same numbers that they used to. That is because of the excessive amount of red snapper, which is a direct result from the federal mismanagement. There's one simple message here. The states can do it better. We are closer to the resource. We know what the resource looks like. We use the resource every single day. Y'all know it better than some bureaucrat sitting in a cubicle in Washington, D.C. Every single one of you that have wet a line knows it better than the bureaucrat sitting in a cubicle in D.C. And yet that person, he or she, continues to make regulations for us that we have to live and abide by. Well, I say no more. It's time for the states to grab its own destiny by the horns, and it's time for us to get our red snapper fishery back. So with the leadership of DNR and Director Mullikin, we're going to do that. He's just told you we're asking for a 61 or a 62-day red snapper fishery. Y'all, that's going from 1 or 2 or sometimes even none with the weather per year. That is huge, and I thank DNR for their leadership and putting us in this direction. I have spoken to the Trump administration. I have spoken to our congressional leaders and our congressional delegation about this, and I fully expect that Secretary Lutnick and Donald Trump and our congressional delegation are going to push this permit through, and we are going to see a 60-plus day red snapper fishery in 2026. Thank you all so much for your time. I'm honored and blessed to represent this part of the world. It's such a beautiful part of the world. I want to thank Jason for giving us his dock. I want to thank Blake for all of her scientific work and all the hard work that she does, and Cheyenne for putting all this together. Thank you all so much. And Cheyenne, should I take questions? After. Okay, we're going to take questions after. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to my good friend Gettys Brannon, President and CEO of South Carolina Boating and Fishing Alliance, to come up and offer his thoughts. Thanks for being here, Gettys. How do you do?
Thank you, Director. Well, as Senator Goldfinch and Director Mullikin put it, today is a historic day for the state of South Carolina, and really this entire week is a historic week for the South Atlantic fisheries. We've seen from North Carolina down to Florida similar exempted fishing permits being proposed this week, but that couldn't be done without the collaboration that's been behind the scenes between the states. So thank you to Dr. Mullikin, Deputy Director Kepler, Amy Dukes, Ben Dyer, their entire team, have DNR board member Davey Height here as well, and just appreciate the community coming together and saying enough's enough. As Senator Goldfinch pointed out, this is a fishery that is mismanaged, and so I'll ask you this: in what business can you bring back year-over-year numbers to your stakeholders or your boss that are 30 to 40% off and you still have a job? You can't. And that's why it's time to put the states in charge. And that's exactly what this EFP does. It's the most clear-cut way to get there. We have actually met with the Trump administration. We met with the president directly in 2023 and talked about this issue. President Trump did this successfully through the same pathway in the Gulf states during his first administration in 2017, and it's been a great success. As my friend Dr. Mullikin always says, there has to be a balance between the economy and ecology, and that's what we're doing here today. You're going to hear others talk about the environmental side of this. I want to talk a couple minutes on the blue economy here in the state of South Carolina. You know, in the state of South Carolina, we're blessed to have the most unique economic mix of boating and fishing companies in the entire world. We have the 3 largest fishing tackle manufacturers in the world and 28 boat makers. 27,000 jobs to our state, $7 billion to our economy, and that's including folks like Murrells Inlet Fishing Charters here, and thank you to Jason for having us. But one thing I wanted to reiterate is this bold proposal doesn't doesn't include the coast. This bold proposal includes our entire state, from the mountains to the seas to the PD. Those tackle manufacturers, Shimano, Rather Outdoors, Pure Fishing, they're spread from Columbia to Charleston. Of course, we have the Boat Mile in Somerville with Scout and Sportsman, Key West, Freeman, and other iconic brands. But guys, we also have Tidewater, Sea Hunt, and Sea Pro in the Midlands. Good policy and sound policy in the state of South Carolina creates a sound workforce for our entire state with good paying jobs across this entire state. And that includes the entire South Atlantic joining us in this, because we have a lot of boats that go to these other states as well. So whatever we need to do to continue to be good partners, good stewards of the outdoors, and look for balanced economy and balanced ecology in everything that we do, we will make South Carolina the most boater and angler friendly state in the nation. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming out, all the charter captains, all the anglers, and this is just a great day for us, and thanks to our congressional delegation. Congressman Fry is actually on Red Snapper Task Force with other congressmen from other states, so he's taken a tremendous leadership role in this. We've had every level of government weigh in on this, except for county councils and school boards. So you're talking the President, U.S. Senate, U.S. House, Attorneys General from all the Atlantic states. Governor McMaster has been a huge leader in this, along with Governor DeSantis and Governor Kemp. It's time that the states take control, and we work and look forward to working with the Trump administration, Secretary Lucknick, and the rest of the stakeholders to make sure that we balance what we're doing here with our fisheries and make sure that the fishing public has access. And 60 to 62 days is just an incredible step that, quite honestly, I was shocked to read when Blake sent it over Monday. This is a bold proposal. that is going to allow for more days on the water and more families to be fed here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gettys. South Carolina has led the world in dispelling this narrative that you have to choose between economic and environmental sustainability. This is another step of that. When we talk about, you read about it, South Carolina has led with one of the largest emission reductions. We're talking about air emissions, one of the largest percentage of private conservation of our land, and our anglers, the original conservationists, are stepping up now, so we're excited about where we are. I want to follow up on another thing he said. We don't say enough good things about ourselves. Davey Hyatt, who's a board member, world champion bass fisherman, Hall of Fame, thank you for coming down here and being this, and thank you for your ambassadorship around the world as you talk about fishing and angling issues. And next, our good friend of many years, Scott and I have been friends since I had hair. Scott Whittaker, Executive Director of the Coastal Conservation Association of South Carolina. Please come forward. And he had a little blonde hair.
Great crowd. Thank y'all all for coming out today. I'm going to do something I don't typically do. I'm going to read because this is a momentous day, and I don't want to try and miss anything. So thank y'all. I am Scott Whittaker. I've been Executive Director for the Coastal Conservation Association of South Carolina for 26 years. And it's an honor to be here on a beautiful day to join this announcement. Just to the left over my shoulder, I don't know, probably 500 yards or so, I was a barefoot kid with a boat and a bicycle, and parents and grandparents that gave me the freedom to roam this inlet. And believe it or not, Murrells Inlet used to have some dirt roads in it. And I get to run, you know, they gave me to run the place as a kid. My grandparents happened, they ran Captain Dick's Marina, for all you guys that remember that, for 15 years or so. So it's a pleasure to be here today and make this kind of an announcement in this location. I want to thank Senator Goldfinch for his dedication to this issue, starting from when we began having these discussions, as he referenced, some 15 years ago, maybe when you were still a House member, we were talking about that. And we wanted to figure out how we could undo this knot of bad federal process that was strangling recreational access, and how we needed to move to state data collection and state management. I want to thank him for his steadfast leadership getting meaningful language through General Assembly. And of course, our good friend, we're excited to have Dr. Mullikin here today. I've known him for probably 3 decades now, and he used his vision and his wisdom to quickly grasp this issue and his direction at the agency level to take on a huge new responsibility like what we're asking in this EFP. I also want to thank a lot of other people that everybody's mentioned already, to our governor, our congressional delegation, attorney general. Thank you all for hearing the voices of Palmetto State recreational anglers and engaging in the issue to bring about this path forward that we're now going to undertake. And I also want to recognize the dedicated staff of the Marine Division. Deputy Director Blake Kepler, who is here, Ben Dyer is with her. They are a talented team. We know them, they know us, and we all knew that we could do a better job than the results the current management process was providing. I'm positive that we're about to leave an era of chaos behind and finally get down to reasonable management that is understood by the angling public, management that provides the greatest access to the red snapper off our shore, all with wise stewardship and sustainability and conservation in mind. The recreational fishing community has long advocated that natural resource management often works best at the state level, that they are the best managers of our state's incredible resources. The recreational angling community knew we were asking a lot, but we also pledged to work with our state managers and legislative leaders however they need, and we will do our part to make sure this is a success. We look forward to working with the state on the implementation of this plan to enhance public access, provide valuable scientific data, and improve long-term fishery sustainability. With the submission of this ESP, we ask that it be approved as submitted. South Carolina has a path forward to balance marine conservation and public access with a management system that is timely and adaptable. This alternative management approach provides a proven model in the Gulf to improve public access while ensuring proper conservation of our marine resources. South Carolina has an enviable sporting heritage and a reputation for being conservation leaders. I'm going to go off script real quick and just say I've had the privilege for 26 years to travel around the country and interact with many state agencies and wildlife departments. And the Department of Natural Resources in South Carolina always gets high regards and high marks in everything that we do. So I'm very proud that I get to go and spread the word of what we do in the state of South Carolina and represent the history that we have. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the future, and all of us at CCA South Carolina are grateful to everyone who has worked on this. Thank everybody for giving up their time today and showing up. This is a very exciting moment for recreational fishing and for the management of fisheries in the state of South Carolina. So thank y'all very much.
Thanks everybody for coming out on this beautiful day, and I think that we were going to allow for some interviews afterwards. Senator, you can stick around. Cheyenne, and we're just going to conclude it. And thanks everybody for coming out. Look forward to enjoying some of this beautiful weather with you. And if you're ever looking for a fishing partner, look forward to seeing you out on the water. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thanks.